Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ghosts 0919. I am your host, Ed. Nice to see you again. If you're new, welcome. Today we're going to be going over the biggest debate in the history of mankind. Star Trek versus Star Wars. Which one is better? Now, I'm going to tell you what I think at the end. But right now, let's go over some stuff between the two. There we go. We're not going to talk about how much money each side's made. Star Wars would win. We're not going to talk about who's made more movies and TV shows, because Star Trek would win. We're going to keep some of that out. We're going to just indulge into the series, both series as a whole. Look into the universes of both and see how they compare. Now, let's talk about ships for a second. Now, the ships in Star Trek are very nice. Sleek, smooth, long, and thin. It's just how they wanted to make them. Weird, I know, right? But there's a lot of them. And not just the Enterprise and the Federation ships. It's a bunch of different species in Star Trek. They have ships too. They have tons of different ships of their own. I mean, we can go through the amount of species that have the ship, but let's just not do that. Star Wars. Star Wars has a good amount of ships. Not as many as Star Trek, though. Honestly, the different variants of ships. I mean, they don't have that many variants. But if you look at Star Wars, their ships are nice too. But all in all, I'm pretty sure Star Trek ships completely outperform Star Wars ships. Weaponry on Star Trek ships, they've got phase particle beams, fire a burst of phase burst, and out of its phaser banks, there we go, that's what it is, and photon and proton torpedoes, and quantum, sorry, 3 different types, photon, proton, quantum. Nope. Yep. Alright. Now, Star Trek ships can go a lot faster than half the 0.5 past the speed of light speed. Sorry, Han. Now, Star Wars ships, they can go a little bit above light speed. That's about it. Takes them a while to get places. Let's talk about weapons for a minute, huh? The Star Wars universe has lightsabers, blasters, but some people don't think lightsabers are good. But then again, sorry, Han, you're not a Jedi, so you don't get one. Sorry, I had to sneeze. Still sneeze. Now, blaster is a good, elegant weapon. Lightsabers are a lot more elegant for a more civilized time. Lightsabers in Star Wars universe have been around for thousands of generations. And that's pretty cool, That's like the sword of our time. Not our time, but our known existence. Sword has been around for a long time and still used to this day. In some martial arts, even competitions, they actually use bamboo swords. What did you say? Now, the blaster is basically modern day firearm. but the blasters don't seem to run out of bullets. Unless you're in the Clone Wars, then you've got a little magazine you take out and say, hey, wasn't loaded. Guess what? They're still around in the chamber, but we don't exactly know the functionality of firearms of a historical galaxy. Now, Star Trek has just about one type of weaponry. Phasers and disruptors. Now, phasers are good. You know, they fire a phase pulse and a directed beam at directed target. You've got Type 2 hand phasers. You've got Type 2 phase rifles. They even went up to Type 3 and 4. I was like, what exactly does that do? In other species in Star Trek, they have disruptors, phase disruptors. Same thing, except instead of firing a beam, fire a phase disrupting bolt. So, kind of like just one bullet. Instead of a strain of bullets, it's one. Let's talk about the story of each real quick. I'm gonna get you. Now, Star Wars has a very interesting story line to it. It's basically, if you start from 4 through 6, it's the Empire trying to be overthrown by a group of rebels. I mean, it makes sense. If you go through 1 through 6, it's how the Old Republic fell to the Empire. Empire rose to fall to the rebellion. If you look at 7, it seems like the Empire is still around a little bit. You've got the First Order over here with Kylo Ren in charge, along with Phasma, which hardly ever see her in the movie, but they're still trying to eradicate the rebellion, which is now called the Resistance. Star Trek, they go over several different stories. It's like a different story every episode. It's not hard to keep up, because if you missed last week, that's okay. It was a Wesley episode. You don't need to watch it. Nobody likes Wesley Crusher, right? Will Wheaton, you're great. But all in all, storylines are both pretty good. Star Wars is a continuation storyline. Star Trek is a subplot story, subplot, continuation of that story, subplot, story. And really, you don't miss a whole lot. I mean, you build up on the characters more than you do in the Star Wars universe with Star Trek. And it actually seems pretty cool. Visual effects. Now, visual effects are what really builds a movie these days. Now, when George Lucas started out with Star Wars, he didn't have a lot of money. No company out there would help him fund Star Wars, his ambition. So he got what he could, made the movie, and then they were like, oh, here's money, make another one. So he did. So, whenever he was doing episode 5, he got a lot more people to help out with the visual effects, help out with making stuff look better. And at the end of episode 5, George Lucas created what we now know today as ILM, Industrial Lighting and Magic, which is part of Lucasfilm, which is now owned by Disney. But George Lucas basically created that, and from ILM comes Pixar, comes THX, a whole bunch of different corporate companies that I cannot remember right now. But Star Trek They used what they could. They didn't create any. They didn't create any visual effects company, but they created how visual effects were produced from then on, and for practical effects, basically, because they used a lot of practical effects for the shows and for the movies until CGI really became a big thing. Toys and collectibles. Now there's a lot of toys that have come out for both Star Wars and Star Trek, even at the same time, on the same years they came out. I mean, some people like some, Star Trek figures better than Star Wars figures. But nowadays the Star Wars figures are kind of getting, they started making great figures, and now they're back to where they originally were with the figures, and they're just not good. Star Trek doesn't really have a lot of action figures coming out anymore. Basically because the last figures that came out was from Playmates in 2009, and those really were terrible as well. They came out with the 2009 Star Trek movie. Collectibles, though, there's a lot of different Star Wars collectibles out there. You've got little ships that you can put together. You can buy at any store for like $20, or you've got replica lightsabers you can buy for $200 and up. But if you look at who's got more collectibles out there, it is Star Wars. Lego even does Star Wars. And it'd be nice, to actually see Lego do Star Trek too, but it's just how the corporations go. Some people just don't want Lego touching their stuff. But all in all, whenever you just step back and look at all of it, on how spectacular the movies, the TV shows, the collectibles, and all that are, if you look at it, it's revolutionary all in itself. Both Star Trek and Star Wars. And to me, I really enjoy both of them. Now, I mean, you see a Star Wars shirt and a Star Wars poster, but over on that wall there's a Star Trek poster of the USS Enterprise from 2009 Star Trek movie. Now, I've got tons of different Star Wars and Star Trek stuff thrown throughout my apartment. But really, it's all in how you enjoy what they are. And I thoroughly enjoy the both of them. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you like my video, make sure to subscribe. Obviously, more videos to come. But if you want me to discuss a topic, let me know. Comment it down below or message me through YouTube. Thanks again.